Made it. We made it. Kia ora. Hello, SPM. So good to see you. How you doing over there in WA? And Jen. Kia ora, Jen. How are you? Geraldine. Welcome, Geraldine. So good to have people popping in. Emily's here. Hey, Emily. How you doing? Not sure if you made it to the Wheeler Centre the other night. So good to have people coming in. Hope everyone's got a cup of something with something in it, not just a cup, you know what I mean. So good to have everyone here for our second line break. Let's start with an acknowledgement of country. We're here in Wollongong on Dharawal country, beautiful Dharawal country. We acknowledge ancestors past and the traditional custodians of these beautiful lands. So lucky to live very close to the waters, the beautiful Dharawal oceans that I swim in as much as I can. Dave does as well. And this creature, Cookie, special guest. She's an excellent poet. So really lucky to be beaming in from Dharawal lands. Yesterday, I believe, was International Indigenous Peoples Day. So let's all take a moment to acknowledge what Indigenous land we're on. Please pop it in the comments. Let us know where you are. It'd be so good to know.
And maybe throw in there too, like a First Nation poet or collection or
That's
Indigenous poet who's really had an impact on you. I mean, there's so many.
Where are you from, Alex?
Jirinjawandi.
Wow.
Yeah, let us know where you are and
Beautiful country.
What First Nation books are you reading or what comes to mind? We're now in day 10 of Poetry Month. That's why I've got sunglasses on, because when we planned a Poetry Month and were asked to come on board for Red Room to produce it, didn't really think about what a month was, nor that they had chosen one of the longest months in the year with 31 days, let alone a COVID month. You know, time seems to have developed its own...
It's shift-shaped.
Yeah, I think August is probably going to go a year at the moment. So probably this is the 10th day. We might just run Poetry Month until February next year. I mean, what does a month really actually mean? It's a strange constraint. But I just want to acknowledge that it's census night tonight. And, you know, the census, the first two questions on the census, you can let us know. I'd like to know. One of the first questions is, who spent the night? This being tonight. Who spent the night? Which I think is a great kind of choose kind of question, really. So who spent the night? Let us know. And that is weird because it's past tense, but answer in the present. And the second part is, who was away? Now, I love that because as poets, you can use that metaphorically. If you're not emotionally present, which many of us aren't at the moment, I'm certainly going through some sort of strange mixed episodes that's been triggered by this lockdown, but that's part of the lived experience. Who was away? Who was present?
Hello, beautiful Nat.
Welcome to the second line break, which has an amazing lineup.
I've forgotten the thing you wanted me to mention.
I don't know. I would call us loosely structured at best. Lovely to see Lauren and Nat there.
Hey, let's also, speaking of Lauren's one of our incredible Red Room team members. So lucky to work with. We work with a tight, reflexive, nimble, badass team of people. Tamron Bennett, Dr. Tamron Bennett steers the Red Room Poetry.
It's going to be like a roll call.
Yes, that's right.
You can go to the website and check out everyone's names.
But I was saying that because I want to make sure everyone knows who's driving the ship tonight.
Yeah, it's a real team effort. All the Poetry Month is as well.
Yeah, but let's shout out to Izzy Roberts-Orr and David Pawsey, who are... Where are we going, guys? They're steering us out there. Hello? Where are we going?
So let us know what land you're on, what Indigenous collections you're reading.
Someone was reading Janine's,
who spent the night and who was away. I feel like the great poetry prompts, like who was away?
Who was away?
Who spent the night? Yes, that would be great. Let's
Please
get into.
acknowledge our language in the survey. Yes.
Yeah, I think poets should rewrite this survey, big time. But let's get into some.
Caroline.
Caroline's here as well.
How are ya?
Welcome. But let's get into some. We've got some amazing content for you.
Yeah. So we're Paz. Hello, beautiful Paz. So we're getting distracted by all these amazing comments.
Eleanor, who's being featured tonight, Eleanor Jackson, but that's later down the track. We've got
we're starting off with I don't know if you've been noticing the different kinds of projects that are housed within Poetry Month, but one of the projects are the Poetry Ambassadors. Yasmin Abdel Mashied is one of our incredible poetry ambassadors, currently residing in London, but also spending quite a lot of time over in Paris, I believe. It was such an exciting moment to have a conversation with Yasmin when we first contacted Yasmin. And her poem is exceptional. There are so many things I could write poetry about, which is such a good title. Did you want to say anything about Yasmin?
No, let's hear it. And followed by that, you're going to hear an amazing poem from Curly Saunders that was commissioned for the Poem Forest Project, which we'll talk about on the other side. So you're going to see Yasmin and Curly, and then we'll be back to Census Night.
There's so much I could write poetry about. I could wax lyrical about a city that springs back to life after a winter of confinement. The way people press into terraces, drenched seals slipping gracelessly into wicker chairs. We said rain or shine, and frankly, it's been mostly rain. We're ravenous for what's on the menu and for all we've been missing, the joy of being out, seeing others, the reason we squeeze ourselves into these huge, sprawling cities and tiny, cramped apartments, that big city life. The lightness of laughter among friends who live in different homes, the pleasure of food prepared by someone else. Is that embarrassing to admit, too bourgeoisie of me to say? I have been making the same 3 dishes since March 2020, and the taste of red lentils just doesn't hit like it used to, and my mother lives too far away. I could tell you about moving, about wondering why I can never set roots, why I don't feel rootless, but I'm often restless, less concrete rows, more tumbleweed, why I'm always wondering what it would be like elsewhere. Not to say that here isn't enough, but there's so much in the elsewhere. All the letters should get attention, no matter where they are in the words. My mother across the seas suggests maybe it's in my DNA. Your father's family lives in Khartoum, but they came from elsewhere. My mother's own mother didn't know where hers was from. Somehow, it didn't matter. How did it not matter? Her fair skin and light eyes said elsewhere. Light eyes are not native to the Sahara, but despite what the Aussie borders signs scream, non-native doesn't always mean pest. Pest is 2 letters in whole worlds away from expat. Pay attention to all the letters, to where they are in the word. There's so much I could write poetry about. But what I can't seem to shake is that this poem is in English. Latin characters moving across my screen from left to right, that by twist of fate, I don't read poetry in the language of my family, and I'm not even talking distant ancestors, my own mother and father, parents who wax lyrical about the beauty of al-lughat al-arabiyya, my first language, one I have no mastery over. I am a linguistic orphan. I have lost my mother tongue. I am the weakest link. Am I the break in the chains? Not emancipation, but the gap between generations. Did I not try hard enough? Is it my fault? Anna, Leah, my descendants will have no mother tongue, but instead inherit the master's tongue. How do I tell them I am the reason they have lost the turn of phrase, the definest wit, wisdom that goes back centuries, all hidden in plain sight. What if they resent me for it? What if I resent me for it? And what if I don't? I think that scares me more. There's so much I could write poetry about.
Hi, my name is Curly and I'm reading Sundowns and Seasons today, a poem written on Untitled Country and Nya acknowledge mirani gananugang Tarawo madung borengelengiango. I pay my respect today to the Tarawo elders and custodians who have kept this country cared for all times and who will continue to do so. This is a time of lily-pillies plumping into fullness. Possum skin cloaks on the mend, or perhaps being worn for the first time again. An age of deciduous homemakers losing leaves, and the last flowers falling from myrtle. A moment of wattle and whale sinking to mark the start of migration. And like the old ones here, I am healing, releasing, growing and moving, fruiting a new path on this country that is not mine, but who kindly offers wisdoms as trees. Reminds us how our scars are sacred and the many ways to lay down deep roots, to nourish beneath. Even when the west wind howls islands into oceans. These wise ones show how a crowded canopy can offer shade, but limits growth to those below, knowing that tall trees are forged over grandfather sundowns and seasons, 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 seasons.
That's a wonderful Curly Saunders, former colleague. Actually, we started in the team and then she quit. So I don't know if it's connected really, but who's to know? You can't. Causality is a weird thing in the arts. It's hard to kind of connect the dots, but the dots you can connect. As I kind of vaguely stutter on a Tuesday, I don't think they have anything about poetry in the census. It is census night, but the project I want to talk about is Poem Forest, our nature prize. Dreamed, conceived by Dr. Tamron Bennett. I like putting doctor in there and calling her, which she is, our artistic director. That Curly poem is connected to that project, and for every nature poem kids send in, a tree will be planted in the Australian Botanic Gardens.
Concept.
So, that Poem Forest and Poetry Month are really the two big initiatives that kind of interweave. So beautiful to hear Curly, and go and check out Poem Forest on the Red Room Poetry site.
So yeah, if you submit a poem, for every poem, a tree gets planted. That's so stunning. Such a beautiful.
Legit. No one says legit. MC Hammer broke it. Too legit to quit. Imagine I'd love a poet to come up to the mic and just say, I'm too legit to quit. I would respect that immensely as an opening.
Yeah. So who do we hear from? Yasmin and Curly. Just want to loop back to, yes, I love you, Cookie. Yasmin's going to be featuring as one of the poets as part of the Guardian Book Club happening on Friday at 1 p.m. I'm pretty sure if you go to the Guardian website and plug in book club in the search bit there, you need to register. I think it's through Eventbrite. So you just pop in your details. It's free. So Yasmin, along with Omar Saker, and Evelyn Araluan. So Yasmin, Omar, and Evelyn are the three guests that are featuring as part of the book club that Red Room are partnering with The Guardian on this Friday the 13th. I love Friday the 13th.
Some more census questions. Just checking out the census tonight. I hope you're across it. You don't want to be fined, and you want to help shape the nation.
Do you get fined?
Shape the nation. Yeah, you do.
How much?
I don't know, but I think you should just know the fact that you should get fined. And
does anyone know how much you get fined?
Well, you're not contributing to our cultural fabric, and I think one of the questions says, "What is your current marital status?" I kind of feel
that it is there.
It's an evolving thing, really, isn't it? I really feel like it should be, what is your future marital status? Just project. I mean, current marital status isn't really a multiple choice question. It's really an essay response, I think. But there's a good one. And then dwelling. What are you dwelling in? I love the word dwelling.
Yeah, me too. It's very onomatopoeic.
It's very mood disorder. I just think, I'd like you to dwell on the word dwelling. You're poets. Tell us now, what are you dwelling in? Try and sort of capture it. And while you're thinking about that, we are now going to have our first giveaway. Boom from Magabala Books, the amazing Magabala Books from Western Australia.
Australia's only Indigenous-owned publisher, I believe.
So if you put in the chat that hashtag
that one, right?
Kindred Curly.
Yeah.
Nice alliteration.
So what needs to happen is we need to just slow down and let people know.
Yeah, so what you need to do is basically put that hashtag in the comments section underneath, and then we will do like a little thing, and a name will be randomly selected.
Is anyone doing it?
You can win a copy of Kindred, which is Kelly Saunders' debut collection through Magabala. We're giving 3 different books away. This is the first one. Down below,
Thank
Kindred
you so
Kelly,
much, Rachel at Magabala.
But more obtusely, tell us what you're dwelling in. And it may be like existential dwelling. That's fine. I go with it.
Where are you currently dwelling?
Love to know. I'm dwelling in many places. And just tell us where you're dwelling, how you're dwelling, and what is your future marital status. I want this census done. I want us to really nail it together.
I want to know how much you get fined. How much you get fined if you don't? How do they track you down?
Don't worry about that. Just think about our statistical cultural fabric. Next up, what do we have?
Oh, well, there's something pretty exciting next up. Grace. So Grace Lucas Pennington runs...
Dwelling in an eco-poetry liturgy. That's very Scott Patrick Mitchell, isn't it?
Oh, isn't it?
That's where he's always dwelling. A blackcurrant. Someone's living in a blackcurrant. I kind of like that. I mean, do you mean that like technology, or do you mean literally a berry?
Man is dwelling in a blackcurrant.
I like the idea of someone dwelling in a berry.
Oh, do you mean a current of blackness?
No, I think he means like maybe technology. Isn't blackcurrant like a thing? Or maybe it's like the berry. Someone's living in 10 poems.
Kelly.
That's great. Dwelling in 10 poems. Are you like one of those? You have a poetry portfolio. You're one of those sort of like.
Have you accumulated?
You've accumulated poets and poems. Yeah.
Brian.
I have a $200 fine.
Is it seriously?
That's kind of.
But how do they track you down? Like if you're not in the census, then they don't know.
I don't know. I feel like this is a whole new show. This is. Yeah.
I want to know that though.
Census night. These
how
are the big
often
things.
do we have censuses?
My Duna Cocoon, Richard. Good call. I hope you're in there.
Richard Sandwich?
No, Bromwich.
Oh, sorry, Richard.
Yeah, but good luck in your Duna canoe. A Duna canoe is even better, actually. If someone could build a Duna canoe, that would be great.
I'm down with the Duna canoe.
Keep telling us where you're dwelling. Make sure you're putting the giveaway. But next up,
let's go with Grace. Grace Lucas Pennington spearheads Black and White, which is an incredible. Your comments are very funny, everyone. She spearheads Black and White up at the State Library of Queensland. So I take my glasses off, you put yours on. Grace is a remarkable human being, one of Australia's best editors who happens to be First Nations. Funnily enough, Grace actually was the editor of one of Curly's collections, Bindi, I believe. And yeah, Grace has worked on some major collections. Nadi Simpson's The Song of the Crocodile. Pretty sure that was the title. Most recently worked on. If you want to know more about what's happening with First Nations writing, where it's at, go check out Black and Write, because Grace is doing some amazing things with that team. So what's coming up now is what's called Book Brief. Last week we heard from Declan Fry, and this week it's Grace Lucas Pennington reviewing Curly Saunders'
Bindi. And what do we have after that? Because we go in sections of 2. Very well organized here. It's little segments.
Oh, it's Elfie
Shiosaki reading
Elfie
from
Shiosaki.
her debut
Elfie's
collection, Homecoming, which has just
beautiful.
been shortlisted for the Queensland Premier Literary Award for
Legend.
poetry. Which
What a
is
legend. Good honour.
Good on that. And good on Magabala. So you're going to see Grace, and then you're going to see some of Elfie reading from her book.
Enjoy your dwellings.
See you soon, dwellers.
You all. My name is Grace Lucas Pennington, and I am a Bundjalung poet and editor. I'm broadcasting from the lands of the Yagara and Turrbal people, and I acknowledge them and their elders as the custodians of this land since time immemorial, and pay my respects to them while I am a guest on their country. Today I'm reviewing Curly Saunders' latest release, Bindi. Bindi is a verse novel for upper primary students, but I think readers of any age love it. It's written from the point of view of an 11-year-old girl, Bindi, and her friends on Gundungara country, and has breathtaking, amazing illustrations by Dub Leffler. Written for those who plant trees, Bindi explores themes of climate, bushfires, and healing. It's divided into 3 sections: seedlings, cinders, and sprouts, signifying both the cycles of nature and a cyclical Aboriginal storytelling style. The beauty of Bindi's story is in the simple, elegant language used to carry big, complex ideas. This is from a poem called Cave Kara. My heart likes these moments. We tilt our heads to smell the wet earth, and our warm breath makes occasional clouds in the air as we puff. Tired from the climb, we rest inside the cave on top of the mountain, behind the lookout. From here we can see the whole valley, absorbed by the rhythm of skies against black tree bones. Soaking and sprouting, we inhale deeply and welcome newness in all its shades of green. Curly writes that she hopes this book will help children to understand their responsibility in caring for country and feeling more equipped to do that. As First Nations people, our sense of self includes us as individuals and also the larger networks of kinship, community, and country. We understand that our mental and physical health is inextricably tied to the health of others and of the lands and seas and skies that we belong to. This book is a gift, especially for readers who want to learn about or be inspired by the possibilities of a deeper relationship with the lands that we live on. I would give this book to every person in Australia if I could. Thank you, Curly.
Hiya, Red Room Poetry. Thank you for including me in line breaks during Poetry Month. My name is Elfie Shiozaki and my family are Noongar and Yaru. My heart is happy to be reading from my new collection, Homecoming, today. Rain will come. The dry of the wheat belt rose from the horizon, chalky layers of pastel yellows, oranges and pinks uprooting the heat from the earth. Kulang tracked towards the river with the other girls, away from the cool shade of the salmon gums. They sang Gentle Jesus in chorus with the Kulbadi, watching over them like they were soft grey feathered chicks. The water pooled around imprints of Kulang's small feet along the river bank, forming silty clouds in the sand. The river shimmered in admiration of the children, treasuring the gift of their Sunday afternoon fellowship and the stolen times they stopped by on their way home from school. Coolan waded out into the river and dipped her head under the water, ritually cleansing herself of heat, sweat and dust. She drew a deep breath and, wriggling her toes into the river sand, dove into the deepest pool of water. Its coolness kissed her sunburnt cheeks. Coolan closed her eyes and dreamed the river in, made herself a dusk offering. The sunlight of tomorrow will warm the surface of the water, make her molecules speed up and move so rapidly that, tightly packed and vibrating against each other, she will escape into vapour, leaving behind the salt from the tributary. Suspended in air, rising high into the atmosphere, she will cool down again and condense. Returning to water, she will gather to form clouds and precipitation, drifting over the Darling Ranges towards the Indian Ocean. She will then fall from the clouds, out of the afternoon sky, in droplets of rain, filled with rays of sunlight and a million rainbows, returning colour to her mother's buja, the place she belongs to. Thank you.
Talk about a Duna cocoon.
Or a Duna canoe. I mean, either, whatever dwelling you're in. What amazing poetry to dwell within poetry, like Elfie. So excited. Met Elfie at Perth Festival. I think it was at the after party, and I was pretty drunk. And who was I there with? You and Claire Coleman, and we were having a
Peace Ray
discussion about if you could automatically send any poet straight down to hell, who would it be? And Elfie was the only one who would join in the conversation.
That's right.
She only really listens.
So
don't answer that, which poet you'd send to hell in the comments.
Lindsay.
Hey, Lindsay.
Hear from Lindsay soon.
But yeah, please get Elfie's book, support Magabala. And now we're about to do our first
Let's do the giveaway
where somebody will win Curly's book, Kindred.
Hey, I saw that
Here it goes. This is exciting stuff.
I saw Jala's watching. I saw you, Jala, who's one of our amazing volunteers. Love your work, Jala. What's happening? Is it doing its thing? David, Izzy, what's going on? Should we just keep going? It's not working?
The winner is Kelly McGraw.
Good on you, Kelly. Thank you for all your support,
big supporter
Kelly.
of poetry on the QPF board. Probably can afford to buy her own books, really, but that doesn't matter. It's okay, I can say that. I know Kelly; she's fine. And what did you say? You're living within 10 poems, so you got a portfolio. It's all good. Kelly's great. Really helps get poetry out there into education. Enjoy the book, Kelly. That's fantastic.
Shout out to all the teachers
and to all the teachers. Kelly.
I was messaging Sasha the other day, who's a teacher. Oh wow, so many teachers doing it tough at the moment.
Yeah, and Kelly's a really great advocate for give it to a poor student.
Nice one.
Actually, I love
Curly would love that.
That's
Curly
so
would love that.
No, you won it. Just get over it. And great advocate for spoken words. So next census question. It wants you to know. I read it first. I thought it said how many babies are you having tonight, but what it actually said, how many babies have come into the household since the last census. But I'm more interested in how many poems have been birthed during Poetry Month, these 10 days. Have you been responding to the daily prompts, which are just incredible? Check them out, 30 and 30. Tell us something that's been birthed by you in these last 10 days.
Andrew, I did it.
I did what? You gave.
What are you doing?
What did
Andrew,
you do?
What does that mean?
That's obtuse. What is it? It's
that's
active.
What is it?
It's very active though. Marital says, waiting for my partner to out himself. Oh, okay. It's kind of weird when you just read comments without really sort of great. I support that.
Okay. This is an essay.
Lindsay, look at that.
What is this
look
essay,
at
Lindsay?
That's wrong, but dwelling in 4 walls, stalled and bored, living with my parents, too legit to quit, yeah.
Oh, you're with your parents, aren't you, Lindsay? Oh, wow.
Good to have you here, Lindsay. Lindsay's
really
going to be presenting a poem by Lindsay and Paul Collis at the end of the show, which is amazing. People are still on marital status. Anyway, maybe tell us what else you've sort of given birth to.
Melodrama,
babies.
Kylie.
Maybe a new poem. Maybe you've given birth to some sort of late night dessert. I don't know. Whatever it is. You gave birth to a 6-year-old? Oh, wow. I think the
Well
census
done.
was 3 years ago. So that's really impressive. Our next giveaway has a different hashtag. It's another Magabala book.
God, they're good.
This next Magabala book we're giving away is what?
Is it false claims? False
And
claims.
colonial thieves.
Yeah,
so the
so-
hashtag is
It's hashtag colonial
thieves.
thieves.
Put
so
that
it's
down
by
below.
Charmaine Paper Talk Green and John Kinsella.
Amazing,
Cookie
amazing poets,
is.
amazing combination.
Cookie, look at
You
your
can win a copy
ears.
of it. Even Kelly, you can re-enter. We won't make you feel guilty.
Kelly.
You just claim all the books. And then hashtag colonial thieves, put that down below, and you're a chance to...
I thought you were going to say, and you're a champ.
You're a chance to win that opportunity.
Hey, how's everyone coping after the Olympics finishing? I heard a lot of people are getting a bit like, oh, can't cope.
Check out the Brendan Cow poem from
That's
the
a good
weekend. Amazing
What's
poem.
it called?
Boyd Cordner.
Yeah.
It's this amazing tribute poem to the rugby league player Boyd Cordner, which also kind of unpacks use the word unpacks, that's a worry. Unpacks the Anzac kind of myth as well. It's kind of subversive and joyous. Also, Andrew Glenn, he did a found poem from Peter Fitzsimon's article. So
It's really good.
if you're feeling that kind of post-Olympics letdown, read some sports-related
It should
poetry.
be, dwell should be like a lull. Dwell sounds like a lull. Post-Olympic dwell.
Well, thank you for dwelling here with us.
And Cookie says, thank you. Hey, can you please post pictures of your pets in the comments as well? I want to see all of the animals in the world.
And next up, that giveaway, remember the hashtag Colonial
Oh, yeah.
Thieves, but we have more content coming your way.
More content.
These two commissions, one's a spoken word commission, which we'll have each week. One's a music commission. The spoken word is one of my favorite. Actually, I don't like the word favorite. Just an
Preferred?
just an extraordinary newish artist, Loki Little. He won the Nimbin Performance Poetry World Cup about 2 years ago. Fronts an amazing band whose name has just escaped me, unfortunately, but
It starts with S.
it might be Steve. Anyway, look up Loki Little. He's about to do a commissioned spoken word piece, and then we have a
Selv.
Selv.
It's Selv.
It's Selv. That's it.
Selve.
He's
also
fire.
doing a hell of a lot with Alethea over at the
Digi Youth Arts,
Yeah.
in Brisbane.
Mm.
And then we have a music commission.
Yeah, we do have a music commission by an incredible Wahine called Hope, Hope One. Hope is a very dear friend, as well as just one of those people that if you throw something at them, they manage it. We contacted Hope to say, hey, would you be interested in writing some poetry? Hope said absolutely yes. So Hope is a world champion.
Beatboxer. Yeah.
Can you be a world champion?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's top ranked, one of the world's best. Yeah.
Yeah. Hope's got a workshop happening tomorrow night, starting at 7:00. Please come. If you're into spoken word and sound and energy and rhythm, and you want to hear how to write from a different perspective.
Or if you're a really uptight, repressed,
Actually,
poet,
mostly if you're
like me,
you're not uptight.
yeah, in my own way, just get along to it. It'll be great. So
Look at Cookie's Porsche. That you're my daddy.
anyway, this is a co-custody arrangement. Right now we've
got Loki Little, followed by the incredible Hope, Hope One. Enjoy, guys. This is good.
Hello, friends. My name is Loki Little. I'm a Jabba Jabba man, and I'm sending you this poem from Yugenbek country, where I live in the Talabudja rainforest. This poem I'm going to perform for you is one I've been performing for quite some time, but it's one that's very special and dear to me. I hope you enjoy it. It's called Elder. This land is my elder, and although I have spent generations and generations away from my country, just north of the Kimberley and just south of Cape Leveque, its hand still guides me. Its finger outstretches in the branches and the leaves, sheltering me as I walk slowly by the waters of Currumbin Creek. Its finger outstretches in the spray of stars as I walk alone beneath the midnight beach from Chugan's flat rock to the cusp of the alley. My mind blending in the estuary where the river meets the sea, and the old voices whisper in the waves like pages unfolding on the shore, shedding sheets of the oldest story ever told. If I only care to listen, if I only care to read, if I only care to retrace the passages in my bloodline to the cursive lines of the Kimberley, where waves of stone mount over me and secrets dance around ancient fires, and great-great-grandparents sit around in perfect silence and look at me. Directly down the long lens of time, painting my mind with memories of my bloodline. Patterns of eucalypt that blink behind my eyes as they open to the moonlight shimmering on the beach, as they open to the dew glowing white upon the leaves, and suddenly it dawns on me that my country is all around me. That I am the estuary where the river meets the sea, and even though my family was stolen over centuries and crammed into seething cities, my ancestors do still see me, and I can still be a grandson who carries on the dreaming. And even though I was raised without my elders around me, without their hands to guide me, soothe me, heal me, paint me with their lines like rivers and their hands of shelter, this land itself has been my elder. And I will cross the empty desert of our dark, dark times to reconnect to my bloodline, so that my kids don't have to grow up walking blind trying to find the ancient light that is their fucking birthright. And this is why I wade up to my knees in the estuary and pray into the high, wide night for black lives and treaties to be signed, so that our culture can be kept alive and never again be as hard as it has been for this long-lost blood to find. So that we can look into each other's eyes and reside as families in the hands of our elder, in the hands of this land. Thank you.
$470 deaths in custody. We need justice for the families. The numbers keep going up, and we've all had enough. Through unity we can achieve. We got to let them breathe. Breathe. They can't breathe. 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 They take our land, they rape our land, they deface our structures. Every day we're getting stronger. They will never take the culture. Breathe. We can't breathe. She can't breathe.
Wow.
How good was that? Oh,
No one can really follow those two. I mean,
Cookie can.
Cookie, yeah. Loki's mind blowing, and Hope, that piece.
It was good. Hey, did you guys like that?
Yeah.
Is that a yes?
Give some love to Hope and
Make sure
Loki.
you follow Hope. She's also part of Hot Brown Honey. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. Hot Brown Honey, an incredible group of Pacifica and brown women kind of changing the world one show by a time.
And there's still space tomorrow night
One
for
show at a time.
Hope's
Not
workshop
by a time.
too. So you'll get along. You can see the event on the Facebook page, or head along to the Red Room website to see the
Tomorrow
workshops.
night, 7:00.
Amazing workshop.
Thank you so much for being a part of it, Hope, and saying yes.
And to all the artists recording at home, many have been recording in lockdown. A lot of people have been struggling. I know people's mental health. Certainly mine in the last week hasn't been what it should be. So real shout out to any artists out there doing it hard at the moment, lost gigs or being alone. It's really nice to, even in hard times, connect in this kind of space. And it's really, when you see artists making works of energy from spaces like this, so good. So
Hey,
good.
Curls.
There's Curly. There's Curly.
Did
We're
you
gonna
catch
do-
your piece before, Curls? You might just be logging in. I know you're traveling at the moment. Yeah, we played your video earlier. Everyone, if you miss it, you can watch this afterwards. Hey.
Yeah, that's what I do. Usually I just go back to my own house and just watch it on repeat till about 3 a.m, just looking for where I could have used silence or pause or
Breath.
some sort of poetic moment, some sort of poetic takeaway. It's good to critique yourself constantly.
Have we got to go to a winner, guys?
We're going to go to another winner. We're going to roll around for Colonial Thieves to see who's won. Apparently this thing spins. Oh, look at this exciting stuff.
Look at it. What a thrill.
Oh, here,
So
it's spinning
this-
now.
this
Here we go. Look at
is-
you all wanting things. This is good.
Oh, look at all the
it's
amazing
slowing
people that are
down.
here.
Just remind me, like, they want to bring back Hey Hey It's Saturday. And
No, don't do it.
just don't do it. Carolyn Reed, that's
Caroline!
fantastic.
Excellent. False claims.
Caroline's amazing.
Cookie.
Poet, spoken word artist.
Really incredible. I did a workshop with Caroline once. Her poetry blew me away.
Check out
Actually,
her.
Caroline, have you still got your chapbooks available?
Yeah, Syriad. It came out
Leave-
last year. Yeah,
Leave your link in
yeah,
a
it's your
comment
book. It's a fantastic book
Mm.
showing once again spoken word can work.
over in
on
WA.
the
Hey.
on the page. Census
Well-
question they just
Oh.
added is what have you grown during lockdown? Like I've been growing this beard, and I've been growing this. This shirt actually fit before the lockdown. Have you been growing like aspirations? Have you been growing
you know what
marijuana plants? What have you been?
Aw,
What have you been?
Good on you if you have.
Tell us what you've been growing. What have you
you know-
specifically grown?
Do you know what I've been growing?
what?
I've been growing my attitude.
Yeah, maybe aspirations if you're that way inclined. What have you been growing? Toenails. That's a good one.
Oh,
What have you gone? You know what? Consciously or subconsciously, I'm going to grow this during the
maybe
lockdown.
like Kelly, you've been growing your poetic portfolio.
Yeah, that's a great thing to do.
Hmm.
I mean, most of our politicians own at least 17 poets. So that'll show in the census for sure. Fabric of our nation. So yeah, what have you been growing? Come on, we want to hear some comments. What have you been growing?
Anyone? What have you been
The
growing?
banter's for us. Growing my
Matt, what
roots
have
in you been
Australia,
That's great.
Oh,
Natalie.
beautiful,
Fantastic.
Natalie.
That's
I don't really know.
solid.
What have you been growing?
Existential muscles.
Oh,
That's the
I
other kind of muscles
love
I
those
have.
I've got those too, Emily.
great.
I've been growing those existential muscles.
Existential dread.
Yes, always, Kylie.
Yes, that's good.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
good to growing maturity. That's nice.
Wow,
That's solid.
Richard.
It's solid. That's
Thank you for your sincere response.
I'm afraid. What you've been
come on.
growing fear, or you're just generally scared of the concept of growing?
Oh, Cookie.
My kitten has been growing. Well, they do that.
Little
Scott Patrick
kitten. I
Mitchell.
love you. Have you been posting a photo of your? I asked for pictures of your pets.
Maybe your kitten
And I
only
wasn't
grows
joking.
during lockdowns. Is that what you're implying? Like earwax,
Oh,
pragmatic, and
that's
tangible.
probably the grossest
tangible.
thing.
No, I think that's a solid collection. Keep going with that. Growing toenails and crusty hooves. It's a good time for crusty hooves. I mean, you can reclaim body growth in all these new ways. It's so fantastic.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, I'm surprised. What's this?
Oh,
You've been increasingly concerned about Barnaby Joyce's drinking while at work. Well, every opinion, every comment we read is the opinion of the commentators. We're just reading these comments out live. Growing interest in numbers. Oh, I like that, Jen. We better get on to some more. We have one more giveaway. So the next hashtag from Magabala Books.
oh, it's a beautiful giveaway. Yeah,
is
Gawayu.
Gawayu.
Yeah, so I had the privilege of working on Gawayu with editor Janine Lane. Someone said they were reading Janine's book earlier. I think it's called, Walk Back Over. So if you haven't tuned into the incredible work that Janine's doing, make sure you check it out. Gawayu features a really incredible range of First Nations voices. All poems were commissioned by Red Room. Actually, speaking of Gawayu, there's a part of Poetry Month. There's a partnered event happening, online event happening again on Friday the 13th, this Friday, with Waverley City Council. Daniel Browning will be the host, and Nadi Simpson, Lorna Munro, and Janine will be featuring.
I'll try and put the link up in the...
Oh, that's a good idea. Izzy will work magic and make it happen, I'm sure. So, yeah, do you want to... How do we... What's the giveaway for Gawaii, David and Izzy?
The hashtag is there. Giveaway 3.
So if you want to win a copy of this incredible collection
hashtag
that was produced by Red Room Poetry in partnership with Magabala. Thank you so much, Magabala, for your giveaways. We're really, really grateful.
And next up, we have another double set of content.
What's next?
We have incredible, someone who we knew well in Queensland and is loved in Queensland and in Melbourne and broader than that, who debut full collection is coming out with Vagabond.
Oh, yes!
Eleanor Jackson, who's
Eleanor!
Incredible performer, writer, been involved with a number of literary orgs over the years. And then we have the next installment of What is Poem? Vijayarajan
answering what is poem,
taking different ways, side angles, tangential pathways into this thing
upwards,
poetry.
sideways,
so enjoy Eleanor and enjoy Vijay. We'll see you. Oh, what's that? I'd like the Pope soon.
Hi, I'm Eleanor Jackson, and I'm coming to you from Wurundjeri Woiwurrung Country, and this is my poem, Temperance Movement, from the collection Gravidity and Parody. Temperance Movement. From where he sits inside his house, not really in lockdown, but a bit in lockdown, more stocked up than lockdown. Baked beans, toilet paper, mee goreng. The kind of stuff he will shove aside when his mother finally visits, opens the pantry cupboard and exclaims, 40 cans of baked beans? From where he sits, there is no irony. Watching live cam highlights from Brooks Falls, Alaska, continuous feed on his Samsung Q900R QLED TV with 8K resolution and depth. Watching a brown bear feast on salmon, landing the catch, returning to the foam for yet more salmon, bodies thrusting upwards against water, gravity, and he right there watching, believing himself neither the bear nor the salmon, only the solemn observer, the witness to all this beauty. From where I sit, outside my house, neither locked in or locked out yet, beside my friend with his long hair and long limbs that I love at tender remove, companionable enough and in the world for a dance show, some pale frame writhing across the reclaimed wooden floors of the converted temperance hall. The audience tipsy, not me, because my body is a temple of preparedness, with cheap red wine and sheer proximity, out to enjoy the spectacle of being and arriving. From where we sit, there is no irony, only this solemn banality, the dancer who contorts his leg, his face, his preposterous joints, and me feasting on torso.
If you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. My high school chemistry teacher told me this, glaring at us as we learnt about moles. I'm the ass man, yells Kramer at Jerry, and then the door slams. Or rather, he slams the door with that style, and the slick bass plays. Your ass didn't break the internet, and neither did mine, though it did break a table once when I sat on it at an 18th birthday party of someone really cool we knew, and I had to mumble very quickly about loose hinges or cogs. I had to protest the cogs violently. My life depended on it. I couldn't be the baboon. The baboon in the tree, swinging its ripe red butt distended plums at other baboons, and then, some centuries on, at those early explorers. After which both the ass and the animal it belonged to were deemed rude, cheeky, imputed with the cognizance of shame just because it had been witnessed. I want to tell you that your ass is perfect. and that I want to look at it a lot and have it break me. I bet sweat doesn't trickle on pool day like it does with my ass. My ass with its tiny hairs that appeared suddenly in my 16th year. I could blame stress for that, but my mother said, don't be silly, and also don't worry about it. Doesn't matter, happens to women, wax if you really care. I think of my mother's ass, which, let's face it, I am steadily inheriting, wide as a bus, soft as ricotta, 2 melting moons. After she got sick and began to shit herself pretty regularly, I learnt about what can really hold an ass. I learnt about adult diapers and their constant chemical smell, unfit for babies, not made for their soft bottoms. Babies have bottoms, not asses. This was also around the time, if you remember, that we were learning about Avogadro's number. How to calculate molar mass, 6.02 times 10 to the power of 23 carbon atoms. Molar mass. Molar mass? Chemistry class. Everything is waning from my memory. Everything is permanently melting. All I take from that time now is how kind you were, how you'd come over after school and we would watch her struggle but pretend to not be watching. We would watch TV instead. American laughter piping through the living room as we pretended to do our homework. That style. How did we drift apart? You must have known even then that I wanted you to slap my ass that and all afternoons. I wanted you to put your whole hand in me. I'd have given anything back then to not have been weighed down by my mind, which was indivisible from the grotty lunar heft of my young body. Now that she's gone, I am comfortable with loss. And it is easy to say without shame. Of course I loved you. Did you, or could you have felt the same way? I assume not. I assume maybe. It hardly matters now to me, or my ass. There is no one left to witness us.
Well, I think, artists making pieces about what
What? Cookie, what do you reckon, Cookie?
this is a poem. It's going to take some unusual directions.
Kelly's kid liked it the most, so someone's happy. That's all we care about.
I want to attend a party inside this poem. Vidge is going to take us in different directions. I'm not quite even sure what part of poetry that was in response to.
It was in response to this part.
But it's a part of poetry that I think many of us should spend more and less time there. So thank you so much, Vidge, who's going to be back next week with the next part of this, and Eleanor from her new collection. Wow, what a show. Amazing range of things.
Love that Eleanor's here. And I also saw that Elfie's tuned in. Elfie, we played your piece earlier, so go back, please go back and, you can catch your video just a bit earlier.
So I hope you're going well with your census, future marital status, what you've been growing during lockdowns, who is staying, who is away tonight. Really hope you've kind of got a sense of, where you dwell, both literally and existentially. Thank you for your responses to that. We're now going to have our next little...
Aren't we going to see who won?
Giveaway is going to
Gawaii?
be drawn for the amazing copy of Gawaii put out by Red Room Poetry and Magabala Books. Look at all those entries.
That's cool.
It's nice getting something sent to you. Postage. Isn't it nice to see something in the post in lockdown?
Ben Zed's back.
Jen's in there. And the winner is Emily
Oh,
Collier,
that's awesome.
poet
That
and playwright.
is awesome.
I know you're in lockdown too in Nam, so yeah, it's coming your way. Give us a week or so, or no, Australia Post, I don't know.
Emily, please give us a couple of weeks and we will be posting that to you. I love that Emily won that.
Look, we're invested in winners. Let's face it.
I'm actually invested in pretty much everyone.
Really want to thank
Cookie. I want to thank Cookie.
Apart from Cookie, our other sponsors, Australia Council, funding bodies who support all these different aspects of Poetry Month in different ways. Australia Council, Create New South Wales, Copyright Agency, and then it goes on and on and on, and there's a little thing at the end. But thank you. We are
Elfie.
going to Elfie. We are going to end.
Oh, we've been waiting for this. This is exciting.
Yeah, it's really nice when you commission people who've been part of the Red Room poetry team to do things, because a lot of us are practicing poets, and when you produce poetry, you kind of step to the. Everyone is in the team. Tamarin, our director, amazing poet, and you put your own work on the back in the background often when you choose to produce. People don't realize that when they talk about gatekeepers, they don't realize that they're often removing themselves from the foreground, their own work, their own practice to elevate others. I think that's an under-discussed part of our industry.
We can chat a bit more about it now if you want.
No, it's all good. I got a therapist. So this is an amazing commission. We're going to end on.
So let's talk about this one. This is a collaborative piece. Yeah. So Lindsay Urquhart and Paul Collis, they got together over Zoom and pretty much started weaving words together. I understand from what Lindsay said that Paul initially sent her some words, and Lindsay responded with so Paul sent through the core of a story, and then Lindsay kind of made her own words within the piece. They toed and froed, and they've come up with a piece that's really remarkable. I love this video. I love what they did to bring this piece together. So grateful to you, Lindsay, for everything you've done with Red Room. And thank you for reaching out to Paul Collis in the way that you have, with so much respect and humility.
Yeah, collaborative poetry doesn't get any better than that. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We'll be back line break next week.
Again,
featuring
next
a whole
week,
bunch of other stuff. We're going to be in lockdown
number 2
right through this. So
what's your census question for everyone?
I'm out. I feel like you just sort of don't the census questions after a while just sort of repeat themselves anyway. Yeah.
Okay.
I've lost interest in the census already. But I am very passionate about this next piece, and we will see you next week.
Hey,
please
thank you for tuning in.
Go to Hope's Workshop tomorrow night.
Go to the book club on Friday. Go to the Hawaii show on Friday.
Check out the Poetry Month calendar where people have put up events. A lot of events have had to be cancelled that were live, unfortunately.
Yeah. Shout out to all of the festivals that have cancelled.
We've lost events as well. So,
don't forget to enter your poem into Poem Forest.
Buy a poetry collection this week.
By an Australian
publishers.
A First Nations poetry collection.
Absolutely. This is Lindsay and Paul. We'll see you
Paul Marie. Good night.
Willie in the orange orchard without a hat. I worked with Billy once. Willie and me were just printers. Always. It was very hot. We were dry. The beer we drank had dried in us.
No style, I wore a hat once. Was scrunched in my bag the rest. I ain't better than no one, and no one better than me. That's not what the boys screamed.
Picked oranges, white fellow ordered. We done with Lana. We saw him drive away. He left us no water. We were thirsty. 8 oranges for juice. Willie and me ate oranges. We became sick.
Gurugach. Frog. Froggy! The boys roared, jeered, and stared. From a distance, of course. No one gave a reply. Vomit on my breath. Birridge. Thick.
We became hot. Hot like the air we sucked in. Willie sat in the shade of an orange tree, then he lay down, hot. I worried he might die.
Friends sucked me into sacred circle. Same concrete, only hot. Tell me my boyfriend's cheating. My mind didn't care. No space to care. Nah, just ugly stares. Vomit, secret feelings later. Feelings stewing. Birridge. Sick.
The white fellow in the car came back late afternoon. Willie had not moved for 4 hours. His lips were dry. I worried he might die. Take us to town. Willie is sick, I yelled.
Birridge. sick. I rode solo, ridicule for wickedness. I was barely there, and still they stared, glared, and roared. Nyah, stop.
We have to pick the oranges. There's no one to pick them but you, the white fellow ordered. Fuck you. My cousin is dying. We got no water, I called.
Binga, sweet drinking water. Luna Park, Abo, Lubra Lips. Did they hear? No one was there. Perhaps if I had a sip I could cry. The sugar to fight, to be bold, to fold. Gama, speak.
We'll walk if you don't take us back. The oranges, the white fellow cried.
Nyah, stop. He walked up, spat straight in my face, grabbed my throat, told me to die. Froggy, he cried. Not an adult in sight. Wonder if they knew it wasn't right. Must have liked it, I thought. They laughed, hysterically. How kind. Nyaranda, listen.
Fuck the oranges. Fuck the oranges. Fuck the oranges.
Nyaranda, listen.
Willie was born to a house that was unlovely, a house of poverty. It was that what brought us to that place in the hot sun.
Neura, country. Ganya,
Yeah.
home.